All right, in this lab, we'll take a look at the observer design pattern. This is a behavioral design pattern that allows us to implement a subscription service in which an object called subject maintains a list of dependent objects called observers. And then the subject will notify these observers of a change to its state and then broadcast this change to all of them. This is really a neat design pattern that's also called dependency broadcasting or publish subscribe pattern. And we want to broadcast a message to a set of observers, right? So we'll take a real world scenario on how to apply this design pattern. In this lab, we will be using Java 1.8 or above, and we will also be using a library called Playwright. This library is used for web scraping, web automation, and automating your browsers. So we'll use this to extract and scrape information from a web page. So we also try to use a Java mail to send out an email, but we don't have a mail provider yet. The problem statement, we've got a developer who's working on an app that monitors the price of products on an online store. So this is the web page of products, and we want to extract the price of a given product and then notify a set of observers via email, Facebook, or WhatsApp of the price. So get the price, product name, and the price, and then broadcast this message, right? This could also be implemented as a way to track. So this is the web app. So we could also implement a service that monitors the price and then notify observers when the price drops. All right. So the client will give us a name of the product, and then we'll check the price and broadcast that message to the set of observers. Right. So looking at the code, we will have a subject. Subject has a subscribe and notify update methods, and then a concrete subject, and then we'll have also observer. This is our abstract class, and then we'll have a set of concrete observers. So the client will basically make use of these observers, subscribe to the subject which is basically tracking the price of a product, and then they will get notified of the price of that product, right? So let's get started and jump into coding. So click on the link to accept the assignment, and then clone the repository onto your machine. So click accept and then reload the page. So this will send you to your own private repo. Copy this URL and then git clone. And let's go there to lab 9. And then let's open it up in IDEA. Let me grab the window. All right, so here we can see, let me just zoom this. To take a look at the pom.xml file, you can see that we're requiring Java 1.8 or above. So this is 1.8 for this project. And here are the dependencies. So we have Playwright. This is the library for web scraping and automation. So you need to right click and Maven and then reload project. All right, so it will take a time because this library, Playwright, will come with a browser, so Chromium. So it will be a large install or download because it does include a headless browser. All right, so let's take a look at the code. So we got the abstract class observer here that takes a recipient. So we can just implement this, and the getter, we return the recipient, and we implement the setter. So we assign the recipient to the given parameter recipient. Again, the recipient could be the name of the recipient, the email, their Facebook handle, or WhatsApp phone number, right? And then we have the abstract update method, right? So let's implement also the concrete observers. So let's implement, since we extended that abstract class, let's implement the update method. So the update method will take a string message, and then we can implement the logic to actually send out an email here, since an email observer, right? So let's implement the constructor and take the recipient in our constructor and then pass it to the super class, the observer, the abstract class observer. All right, so we take the recipient here, and then we call super. It will go to the observer abstract class, and then we call set recipient, and we call the setter on the parent class. So in the update, we can use send email. This is for sending Gmail. This used to work when Gmail allows sending an email programmatically in Java. Now, unfortunately, this is not enabled, so we have to find another email provider, right? So if we want to send an email, then we pass the subject to this static method in the send email class, send, and we give it the body. So the body could be the content of the message itself, and we also pass the recipient, right? So give it the message, and then we pass the recipient, right? So I'm gonna comment this out because there's no email provider that is easy to set up for now, but we can work on this later to find an email provider. So I'm just gonna print out a statement here that this message was sent as an email to the recipient. So I'm gonna just put the recipient and concatenate it with the body of the message. All right, let me just rename this to message, and then I'm gonna put it here as a message. All right, so this is the update method for the email observer. Now we can go to the Facebook observer. All right, so we set the constructor. It will take a string recipient, and then we will need to pass it to the parent class setter method. So the parent class is setter method is set recipient. To give a set recipient, next we need to override the update method, right? So add the annotation override, and then public void update will take a string message, and then we will basically implement the logic. So this could be using Facebook SDK to actually post a message, or an API service, or any other service that will post a message on Facebook that the price has dropped. So I'm gonna just print out a statement here. Facebook observer, and then we'll do the same with concatenating the recipient with the message itself, right? So get recipient, and then concatenate that with the recipient. All right, so that's for the update for the Facebook observer. It's basically another concrete observer. Now we need to move to the WhatsApp observer. So the WhatsApp observer similarly will take constructor, and then we'll take the recipient as a string, and then we need to pass it to the setter of the parent class, the abstract class observer. So we call the set recipient there, and then we pass it, and then we implement the update method, right? So similarly, like what we did with that, the email and the Facebook observer, we override the update method, and then this will take the string message. And again, we could use a service like I don't know, Twilio, for example, to send an actual message on WhatsApp, or we use the WhatsApp SDK to send a message. So for now, I'm just printing out the statement, WhatsApp observer. But obviously, you can replace this with the actual logic of sending a message on WhatsApp, right? So let's concatenate the recipient with the message. And let's just format the code, reformat the code so it looks nice. Save it. So done with the Facebook, done with the WhatsApp, done with the email observer. So done with all these three concrete implementation of the observer abstract class. So we implemented this. It takes the recipient and then it implements the update method in these three concrete classes. So let's move on to the subject. So the subject, you got an interface that has subscribe, unsubscribe, and notify update. Subscribe and unsubscribe will take an observer, add it to a list, and notify update will call the concrete classes, the observers update method. So this is our concrete class, the message subject. So we have to override these three methods, right? So once we implement, I can use my IDE to implement them. So we can see that the subscribe will take an observer. That means we need a list of observers. So I'm going to declare the list of observer. Be sure to implement this from java.util observer. So list observer, I call it observers, and then I will do the initialization in the constructor. So this is the constructor, public message subject, and we call this dot observers, and I'm gonna implement this as an array list. Right? So array list, and then I'm giving the type is a list of observer. Right? So now we can add things to it in subscribe and remove things in unsubscribe. So this dot observers dot add to subscribe, we add an observer item to the observers list, and then in the unsubscribe, we'll remove that subscriber. So pass the object and then call the remove on the array list. Now notify update, we need to loop through all of these observers. Remember that all of them have the update method, and these are implemented in the concrete classes. So we want to refer to them by the type, the interface type observer. So we loop through them and we say for each observer in observers, so for each observer O in observers, call that update method, o.update. All right, and this will call so this notify update will call the update method on the concrete observer. All right, so this is how we broadcast the message to the observers. All right, so now we can so we implemented these three methods. Our concrete message subject is done. Now we take a look at the main class. So in the main class, we have a static method called search for products. It will take a keyword, so for example, Apple, Sony, and then it will create a Playwright object and will launch a Chromium, the browser, in headless mode. That means you're not going to see the browser window. So we'll create a new page here. This is like creating a new tab, and then we navigate to the URL. This should be lab 9. I'll make sure that I fix this so you don't see it. So lab 9. So we navigate to that URL, and then we try to extract all the products titles. So they are we go to this URL, and then if I open this in the browser, you can see that this is the URL of the web page that we want to scrape and extract the content. So I want to extract the product title and the product price. The product titles are defined in an element called h2. So if I inspect this and look at the source code of the HTML, you see that h2, the element, has a class with value title. So h2 title for each title of a product, and then the price has a p class price, right? So to use that, we call p.price. P is the element, price is the class name, and we grabbed all this and we loop through them, right? So we try to find the keyword. So you give me a keyword, what product you want to look for the price for, and I will extract that from the list. So products.get, and grab that item and then return the price to you. All right. So this is the main. So we create a Facebook observer, email observer, and WhatsApp observer. So we have 3 concrete observers, and then we create our subject, and then we only want to subscribe for 2, right? So we only want to receive an actual message on Facebook and email, right? So we subscribe twice, and then we get the message. So we subscribe for a search for a product called MacBook. So we pass this to the this static method, and then we get that message, and then we call the notify update on the subject, and the subject will notify these Facebook and email observer by calling the concrete update method. All right, so this message will go to Facebook and email, right? Next is we changed the observer, so we unsubscribe email. Say we don't want to receive a message on email, we want to receive it on WhatsApp, so we subscribe to WhatsApp and we broadcast the same message, right? So now the message will go to email and WhatsApp, right? So let's run this guy. We run the main program, right? And it's still running. All right, so we got the message of the product, Apple MacBook Pro, price $12.99, and the message went. So this is the name of the product, and the price was scraped from that web page, and the message went to Facebook and email at first. So it was Facebook observer and email observer, and then we changed the observer. We unsubscribed email, and then subscribed WhatsApp, and then the message went through Facebook and WhatsApp, right, to the phone number. Right. So that's how you implement this observer design pattern. If we want to take a look at the test, run the test for this lab. So right click and run the lab test. Make sure we get green before we push the code to GitHub. Right, so we get 2 green check marks here. So these assertions are passing. Now we can add and push the code to GitHub. All right, so we may change it to the SRC folder, change the source code. I'm gonna just add the whole files in just one commit. So git commit message done with lab 9, and then I need to push it to GitHub, right? Git push origin main. So let's go and take a look at the action. Right, so that kicked in the grading action. So click on the details and just wait for the grade, right? So obviously it will take some time to download Playwright. So great, that was really quick. So it all passed, and then we got the points 100 out of 100, right? So this is really a neat example of using the observer design pattern. Obviously, you can make this cooler by just storing the prices in a database or a cache. We can also track the price over time, so store the timestamp of the price and make it more realistic example, right? So that's how you use the observer design pattern. Thank you.